Oh, I keep forgetting to record. Young lady was asking me, Lusama was asking me about the exam for the 10-weeker. If you look, in fact, I'll do it again. I'm going to share my screen. This is for the people in a 10-week course. You'll see it says prepare for exam 1 on Tuesday the 17th, sections 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3, 3. The first three chapters. When I'm explaining to Lusamar is that the exam opens up at 8 o'clock. I open it at 8 o'clock on Tuesday the 17th. It stays open for 28 hours. You haven't got 28 hours to do it. You got 75 minutes, but within that 28-hour span, you got to find 75 minutes to do your exam. I mean, this is why you take an online course. How you pronounce your last name? Bollarino?
Bollarino, yeah.
Yeah. It's Irish?
Não, português.
I was just teasing. You from Portugal?
No, my husband is.
Oh,
I'm
really?
from Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
A lot of, I'm Cape Verdean. A lot of Cape Verdeans in Brazil. So, other than that, you see, here's what I started to say. The exam is very similar to the homework and how it's structured. It's multiple choice. All right. And as I've told other classes, is for the homework, I would maybe pick examples 1, 3, 5, and 7. For the quiz, I'll pick 2, 4, 6, and 8. So my suggestion is to have all of the homework, the PDFs, the solutions, where I have the screenshots of the solutions. All right. I wouldn't necessarily download or print out the PowerPoints, but have the homework solutions. Now, we take a peek at what this looks like. Hold on a second here. This is what I'm talking about. I'll call up 2, 2, and 2, 3, and I'll share my screen. All right. This is this is section 3, 3, 3, 2, and 3, 3, the homework solutions. Have this by your side for all of the different sections. You follow me? Because the problems will be very similar. And I've got screenshots as to how I solved the problem. You follow what I'm saying? Lusama, are you still
Yeah.
there? It makes sense to
Yeah.
have this by your side?
Yeah, I already print that out
Well,
because I was doing and making all the notes.
aren't you special? You didn't know what sections, but you printed that out.
Yeah, I print them all the homework.
Oh, you print everything,
I print all the homework, just the homework.
Okay, that's
But
smart.
then I go over the voiceover and I just do it and check.
Does your husband help you with your homework?
No,
No.
no,
How come?
not at all.
All right. Carrie, what's up?
Hi, how are you? I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. It's witching hour at my house right now with my kids.
Yeah, how many kids you have?
Two.
Huh?
Two of them. So we're hoping that they're running outside right now.
How old?
5 and 9.
Nice age.
Yeah, we're in
Appreciate
a
them
good
now
spot.
because they'll be 18 and 19 before long.
I know. I do. They're amazing.
Let me ask you a question. When you got to work, did those videos show up?
Yes, I did. Thank you. I
Problem at
ended up,
home.
I don't know. Well, it's also a newer computer, so it could be user error.
Yeah, but those videos are on YouTube, so it shouldn't be any issue playing.
Yeah, I ended up
You
texting
click
Maria.
and right in the middle of the video, there's an arrow, a red arrow.
Yeah,
Or if you click at the top, it'll go right to YouTube.
I couldn't even get that to do it, but I was able to do it on my phone. So I ended up
Really?
getting it. Once
That's
again,
weird.
it could be very much user error.
User error. So, I mean, it's a brand. I mean, we had this situation before, this issue.
I haven't really done any homework things in a very, very long time.
All right, you just told everybody in the class now. Okay, all right.
Prior to this class, I have been out of
Yeah.
school for a long time.
You know Kerry? I mean, do you know Lucima?
I do not.
No.
How are you?
Says
Thank you.
you
How are
should
you?
show up at a Dunkin' Donuts. She'll take care of you.
Perfect. I can use
Bring the
plenty
kids,
of
she says. Bring
coffee.
the kids too. What can I do you for, Kerry?
So I had some questions. So I'm in the 5-weeker. So I had some questions about 6.2
Yeah.
I was looking at, and I was kind of getting a little confused on when to use the normal CDIP or the in norm, whatever, however you say that one is.
The inverse. Let me call up 6.2.
Okay.
All right. The normal CDF is when you're looking for the area that's under the curve. It's a left-handed table. All right. You need the
Okay.
lower bound and the upper bound. Now, the inverse norm is when I give you the area and I'm looking for the z-score or the z-score or the actual x score. All right.
Um,
I'm looking for the area. In the inverse
okay.
norm, I give you the area and I'm looking for the value that's associated with that area. It's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Oh, okay. Okay. Could you maybe like for in 6.2, could you maybe do actually number 12?
All right, find the 96th percentile. I'm not looking for an area, so it's an inverse norm. All right. If something is in the 96th percentile, all right, it's bigger than 9,600. Let's say, for instance, you took a standardized test. They said, Kerry, you scored in the 96th percentile. That means you did better than 96% of everybody else who took the exam. You did better than all these people. The mean or the median is the 50th percentile. All right. This is 50, the halfway point. 25th percentile would be there. There's a 50th, the 75th. The 96th is way to the right here. You follow me?
Yes.
Now we have a left-handed table. The area that's associated with this percentile is from here to the left. Well, you know
Okay.
the area to the left, it's 0.9600. All right, I added the 2 zeros here. Inverse norm, I could have just put in 0.96. It's the standard normal. The mean is 0. The standard deviation is 1. This value here is 1.75. Now, let's take a look at something like, well, this one here is talking about the 75th percentile. All right, so if this is the mean, this is the 50th percentile. 75th is to the right of that. All right, the area that's associated is from here to the left. Well, you know what it is. It's the same as number 12, except at 0.7500 as opposed to 9600.
Okay.
Now, number 14, I want to know the area that separates. Well, let me just kind of read 14. It says if 9% of the thermometers are rejected because their readings are too high, but all the other thermometers are acceptable, find the temperature that separates the rejected ones from the others. Well, these are the ones that have a reading that is too high. It represents 99%. I'm looking for this value here. Well, it's a left-handed table. If this is 9% from here to the left is one whole, the area under the whole curve, minus this little smidgen, it's the remaining is 0.9100. So the area that's associated with this unknown value is from here to the left, which is in this case here, 0.9100. You follow me? It's a left-handed
Yes.
table. You always have to know the area to the left. Sometimes it's obvious, like 13 and number 12 was, but here you had to do a little bit of thinking. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me off of knowing that that was the left-handed
The
table.
left-handed table. Exactly. People just want to see if you entered in 0.09, you would get some negative value. Now, how can this be negative? If this is a standard normal right here is 0, Anything to the right of 0 is positive. Anything to the left of 0 is negative. In
Yep.
fact, let me kind of do that right now to show you how people can make a careless mistake. Let me unshare this, stop sharing. Let me call up my calculator. Second function, stat nav. Let's say I went to my inverse norm and I put in 0.09 to standard normal 0 and 1, and I hit paste. You see where you have a negative value, but how could that be negative? Because it was to the right of the mean and the mean was 0. You follow me? It had to be a
Yes.
positive number.
Yes,
That's
that
the way
makes
of- That's
sense.
the way of catching yourself. It's got to be positive. It's a standard normal.
It's a standard number. Okay.
And if it was a non-standard normal, which we won't encounter until section 6.3, you'll know what the mean is. Anything to the right of the mean is going to be a bigger number. Anything to the left of the mean is going to be a smaller number. So
Okay.
use your diagram, to avoid making a really careless error.
Okay. So always kind of do a diagram
Oh
when
yeah,
we're doing.
I mean, I tell the people, well, if I mention it in class, I mentioned it in class. If you don't draw the diagram, how can you imagine what's going on? I mean, you just can't think about it in your head. Draw the diagram.
Yeah.
I put a value at the very middle. I label it the mean. If it's a standard normal, the mean is going to be 0. We're going to be in section 6.3. It's going to be a non-standard normal. Only thing that's going to change is the mean is not going to be 0, and the standard deviation is not going to be 1.
Okay.
But label it so you have a good context. Is if the value I'm looking for is to the right of the mean, it's going to be a bigger number than the mean. If it's left of the mean, it's going to be a smaller number than the mean.
Okay. That makes
When
sense.
it's 0, like in a standard normal, anything to the left is negative, anything to the right is positive.
It's positive. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You've gotten your money's worth from me.
I sure have.
And I had an optometrist appointment. That's why I wasn't on this morning. And I said, well, gee, 6 o'clock, people would be out of work. I thought I would see more people on, but then again, it's Friday, the sun is shining, and who knows?
Yeah. I walked in at 5:45.
Yeah, I was taking a nap upstairs actually. So, Lucima, any more questions? You feel pretty comfortable?
No, I'm just behind. I'm still on the 4.1 now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So you got the weekend. Do
Yeah.
me a favor, if you have any other questions between now and Tuesday morning, just shoot me an email.
Okay. Thank you.
Or printing out, I think you have it all pretty well under control. Printing out those PDFs is so important because you won't have the exact numbers, but the problems will be very, very. I'm not going to
Yeah.
test you on something that you haven't practiced. Follow me?
Yeah.
So the homework, the test is going to mirror what the homework is like. Same questions, but obviously different numbers. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Is this your first online course?
No, that's actually one of my last. I early graduate. I have 2 classes to finish, yours and another one elective. Then I'm done.
Are you taking the other one this summer?
Yeah.
So you'll be done by September then, huh?
I'm done by July, by the end of July.
July, okay. And what do
Yeah.
you plan on doing after that?
I don't know. Yeah. I need to take a break. I'm too tired. It's too much.
And what's your major?
Accounting and business administration. Yeah.
Great.
Let's see.
You made a smart move by going to a community college, paying cheap money. Accounting, you realize that Bridgewater State University also offers free tuition if you qualify.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No.
The limit is $125,000. If you make under that and take X amount of courses, tuition would be free. Or if you're extremely rich like Kerry is, money is not an object.
Everything.
And I always tell people that, it's not where you start college, it's where you
It's
finish.
where you finish. Yeah,
Yeah, if you
I agree.
you can take your courses at a community college and save some money. I've got students who've transferred in from University of New Hampshire, for instance. They're paying 65,000. I'm going, that's astronomical to be paying that kind of money.
I have kids in daycare, so that takes all my money.
Yeah. You wonder how people can, with the cost of everything that's rising, and it's just, I tell people I went to Bridgewater, and a long time ago. First semester was $200. My most expensive book was $10, but that was a long, long time ago. Everything has gone high, and the wages haven't really kept track of all that. But
Yes.
it's difficult for people, and with rents and mortgages and interest rates, and yeah, it's tougher for younger folks, especially you ladies a little bit older, but for incoming freshmen, the world is just it's harder for young people with all that's going on today's news. The bombing in Iran, and
It's
sometimes
crazy.
you just want to put the news on. There was the airline crash with 240 people.
Yep.
Yes.
One person survived, I guess.
One person, yeah. It's just
And
like,
they're even saying this weekend, so I'm a trauma nurse, and they're even saying this weekend they're on high alert. Because I'm a trauma nurse in a Boston hospital, and they're like, this weekend with protests and things like that, it's a
oh
high
yeah, with the
alert.
parade in Washington, everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in high alert. Like if anything goes on, we have to go in.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be some protests in Boston, I would imagine.
Yes, yes.
So if anything breaks out, and we live in a society, you don't have to get into politics, but whatever your politics is your business, like wherever mine is mine. But it's like right or left, you're either this or you're that. We just can't get together and kind of communicate and solve things, you know what I'm saying? Without yeah, different world. I mean, not everybody's right and not everybody's wrong. We gotta come somewhere in the middle, and agree on something to make this a better world. You wonder why, young people are just stressed out, and suicides,
Agreed.
everything else, and drug use, and different world than I grew up, obviously. Then social media doesn't help. All the things out
No,
there.
no, I'm trying to.
Hi, mommy's a good student. Are you a good student?
Are you a good student? Yes. No, you gotta go sit with Daddy. Go, Stuart.
Pretty red
Sorry.
hair. Dad has red hair.
I was born a redhead.
Oh, okay. Ladies, I'm not going to keep you. Anything else going on?
Let me see. I always have questions. My only other question was, could you just review the 6.2 number, like 1 or 2?
Yeah. Take a peek here.
And everything you said about the tests with going, watching, like paying attention to the homework and the PDF for the test was very helpful. Thank you.
Quite welcome. Yeah, I mean, you're looking for this area of the shaded region here, right? And what normal cumulative wants to know, the lower bound, lowest to the left. I don't want to give you the impression that this is. I started off. It almost looks like this guy is stopping at negative 3.39. In actuality, it's going all the way to negative infinity, which on your calculator is a negative sign followed by E99.
Yep.
And the upper limit here is 1.13. It's a standard normal, mean is 0, and standard deviation is 1. Now, same thing here. You're looking for the area of the shaded region. And once the lower limit is, here it is, negative 1.82. And the upper limit, you're going all the way to positive infinity, E99. The easiest ones are, this is the lower limit to the left, and this is the upper limit to the right. Pretty straightforward stuff.
Yep.
There's your lower, just remember, lower to the left, upper to the right. And you know how to input E99 in your calculator, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I paid attention to that.
Cool. All right, so
Awesome.
the area to the left, all right, this is an inverse norm. I'm looking for the area to the left. I'm sorry, I'm looking for this value here, the unknown. The area that's associated is the area to the left, but you know the area to the left. In this case, it's given to you as this. Same here, you know where the area to the left is. Now, here's one. I'm looking in number 7. I'm looking for this unknown value. You with me? The
Yes.
area that's associated is from here to the left. What do? I tell you the area to the right. All right, to find the area to the left, it's one whole minus the smidgen of 0.0694. The area to the left is, in this case here, 0.9306. Always, it's
Okay.
left-handed table. It's always the area to the left. Sometimes it's given to you. Sometimes you have the area to the right is given to you. You need to subtract the area to the right from 1 to calculate the area to the left. Make sense?
Yes, it does. That makes
Okay.
so much more sense.
And these are easy enough, between 0, whatever, less than. Here again, you can sketch a little diagram, but sometimes it's not necessary, But I would definitely, if you're unsure, sketch a diagram.
Okay, perfect. No, thank you. I appreciate you answering my questions.
Yeah. If that's it, ladies, enjoy your weekend. And what's the weather for tomorrow?
Rainy.
Rainy.
Well, it's the weekend, right? What else is new?
Well, that's
Ugh.
yeah.
What hospital, Kerry?
Beth Israel in Boston.
Okay. Yeah, when I was ill back in the early 90s, I was at Lay Clinic.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, we're so fortunate to have these great hospitals. I had a disease called retroperitoneal fibrosis.
I know exactly about that.
Ooh,
I do.
you're the
Yes.
first person that's ever said that.
I've been a nurse a long time.
People down here had no idea. They had me. I had rheumatoid arthritis. I had all kind of. They were just like throwing dots, and they didn't know. So in the interim, I went to the Lay Clinic. You go through, they always want to run their own test.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I went, had some tests done, blood work. Went to lunch, came back, and the doctor name was Dr. Glick. He says, "I know what you have," he said. Yes, it's slightly rare. He says, "but I've seen it before." But what ended up happening, they did some elective surgery. They said, "Okay, yes, scar tissue down by my aorta." So
Yep.
when they closed me up, I started healing. The scar tissue started moving. It attached itself to my urethras. I went to renal failure.
Yep.
So then they did an omental wrap. And
Okay.
I was on Coumadin for years and years and years. I would go for
Oh,
monthly blood work. And then I
it's
went on
tough.
Eliquis recently, but so you actually have seen that, huh? Wow.
I have seen that. Yes.
And I researched, and mine was exposure to asbestos.
Oh my gosh, no way.
School that I taught at, New Bedford High School, had asbestos on the first floor. The number of people on the first floor contracted cancer. How about the cafeteria? Women working in the cafeteria, breast cancer.
Oh, that's
The
awful.
woman who came into my room after I left and I went to the administration building, she ended up dying of breast cancer.
Oh,
Asbestos.
that's
And they kind of
scary.
just, the EPA came in, well, they used to worry about the students. Students were there 3 years. I was at the high school for 22 years.
Yep.
Long term, so.
Yeah,
My
long
Yeah,
term.
sister went
I
to
hear
New
you
Bedford
getting back.
High.
We're so fortunate to have great hospitals around
We
Boston.
are.
Do you
Ladies,
teach in
have a
New
great
Bedford
weekend.
High?
Hmm?
You teach in New Bedford High?
I did years ago.
My husband went to New Bedford High.
Where year did he
He used to
graduate?
live in New Bedford. He graduated in 84, I think.
84. Yeah, I was there. I started in Bedford High in 74, and I didn't leave till 1995. Ask if he knows Mr. Gomes. Tan House, tell him.
10 house. I'll ask him.
Tan House, room 115. Maybe I
Yeah,
had him in class. Maybe he owes me some homework.
I'm sure.
Yeah, tell him Tan House, Mr. Gomes. Ladies, have a great
will.
weekend.
You too. Have a
Thank
nice
Take
you.
care.
one. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.